guys, what's up? Caleb Downing here, and today we're going to do another pistol suppressor comparison. This time we're looking at K-cans, right? Specifically K-cans. We have the JK Armament 105 CCX, small little boosterless, super lightweight suppressor. We have the CGS Mod9SK. This is a smaller suppressor. These are all K-cans, so K just means small. So CGS Mod9SK, the Omega 9K from SilencerCo, the Yankee Hill R9. This is a special feature, or not a special feature. I don't know if this guy fits the K-can. This is right between like a K-can and a regular can, in my opinion. So I'm gonna throw it in here kind of as a bonus, but he's in here. And then we also have the Odessa-9 from Dead Air. Definitely a K-can as far as the diameter of the can. He can be longer, he can be shorter. We're gonna run this full length. Same thing with the JK Armament 105 CCX. He can be this size or he can be shorter. We're gonna run it just as it is like this. So here's the plan. Hopefully everything's gonna cycle right. It did decide to get cold, so we're in the 20s now. But we have a P226, right? SIG P226 9mm. I hope this is going to work well. I have one other gun with me that I could use for this test, but hopefully this guy's going to rock well. I'm going to use 115 grain ammo. I have some 145s and then a little bit of my last 165 grain Hush from Freedom Munition. If you guys can get 165 grain Hush from Freedom Munition, that is hands down, bar none, the best 9mm suppressed ammunition out there. They don't sponsor me. I've bought this. I can't get it up here in Alaska without like personally bringing it up here. It's hard to get. That stuff is gold. Go get it if you can, but that's just amazing. So hopefully everything's going to cycle right, again with the cold, with this firearm, and with the suppressors we got. So without further ado, let's just get into this. The main thing I'm looking for here is these are K-cans. These are K-cans, meaning they're small, meaning they have a kind of specific wheelhouse niche that they're going to operate in. They are not going to be the quietest cans. They're not. They're going to be a cross between suppressing the concussion, right? Holding all that in, and being lightweight and small and all those other compact words, you know, all that stuff, right? So a smaller can that knocks down the noise to an acceptable level as well as it can in such a small quote-unquote package. I hate that word package. People use it too much. But that's what a K-can does, right? It is not going to be the quietest suppressor out there. If you want that, it's going to have to be a larger can. That's just all there is to it. That's why this is not just a rundown of 9mm suppressors. These are 9mm K-cans. So with that in mind, let's shoot this thing and see how it sounds. All right, let's start off with 115 grain unsuppressed just to see how this guy sounds. I'll try to shoot all these in the same spot, same direction, not hit steel. It might hit a rock. If it does, sorry about it. Nothing I can do about it. But here we go, 115 grain unsuppressed. All right, suppressor number one, JK Armament 105 CCX. We're gonna do 3 rounds. Ooh, a little sluggish. Hope this guy works, it's cold. 3 rounds of 115s. 3 rounds of 145s, and then 3 rounds of 165s. So they should progressively, in theory, sound better. 3 rounds apiece. Here we go. To my ears, I can definitely pick that up. The 165s obviously sounded the best. The 145s, to me, they had a more of a hollow sound to me. And then the 115s, they were decent. They were decent. They were not quiet, but they were decent. All right, next up, this is the Dead Air, almost said Omega 9K, the Dead Air Odessa-9. Same thing, 3 115s, 3 145s, 3 165s. Absolutely, again, no question about it. Those 165s are quiet. This did do a better job, in my opinion, so far, not my opinion and how I'm hearing it, than the 105 CCX. That 105 actually did a pretty good job, I will say. But this guy did sound better, definitely quieter, but he is a little bit longer. All right, next up we have the Omega 9K from SilencerCo. Same run of ammo. Here we go. Not bad. If you ask me, not bad. I'm a little bit surprised, I'll be honest. I'm a little bit surprised at those 115s. I think the main sound that I'm picking up, the reason it just sounds loud, is that's a supersonic crack. You can't get away with that with supersonic ammunition. The suppressor does not suppress supersonic cracks. Once that supersonic crack is gone with those 145s and the 165s, it sounds good. Really a nice can for this application. Small, compact, works well. All right, next up is the CGS Mod9SK. Littler guy, smaller than the Omega 9K. See how this guy rolls. I got to be honest with you, this is probably my favorite can in this whole category. Probably. It is. Not probably, it is. I think this guy balances the best as far as size and what it does. Size and function. His size for a K can is great. For a K can, I wouldn't want it any smaller, any larger. It's very lightweight. It really does well with those subsonics. Even with supers, it's not bad. It's not super quiet, but its size and, it's cold, I can't think. Its size and function ratio is spot on for me. I like this one the best. For this application, I like this one the best. All right, last but not least, we have the Yankee Hill R9. Again, this is kind of an honorable mention. A little bit longer. I don't know if this guy is really considered a K can or not. It's stretching it to say it's a K can, but it's close enough to where I think a lot of people looking in this category might consider this, so I wanted to throw it in here because I had it. All right, so 115s, 145s, 165s. Here we go. All right, we got ricochets going on. Guys, that is definitely quieter and to my ears than any of the other cans, all right? However, this is a happy medium between a K can and a full-size can. He's right there in the middle. Even with, he sounded way better than the 145s, way better than any one of the other cans. Even the supersonics, you can't get away from that supersonic crack, but you can tell the concussion, the report of the firearm is very well contained within the suppressor. This is a happy medium, like I just said, between K cans and full-size cans. Yeah, so for what it's worth, that's what it is. Okay, guys, so there you go. That's kind of, that's the video. Sorry, maybe a little bit short. Sometimes shorter videos are better. Hopefully there was enough information in there for you guys. I think I have individual reviews of every single one of these suppressors. So if you are interested in individual reviews and specific data points, then go watch those videos, right? I don't think I can link all of them, but I don't know. You can go look it up on the channel if you're specifically wanting to look at a suppressor. In my opinion, because this was pointed out in one of my other videos, if I ask you guys what you guys think, well, yes, you are listening through a condensed microphone and your speakers. You're not going to hear the same thing that I'm hearing, right? And every person hears things a little bit different, even in person. The shooter's perspective versus the bystander, right? The person around, they're going to hear a different tone, a different noise. So my opinion on which one of these cans, can't talk, sounds the best. The R9 really sounds good, but like I've said already a bunch of times, this is kind of a hybrid between a K can and a full-size can. It's right there in the middle, so it's a little bit unfair. Again, I wanted to throw it in here because some people might consider this a K can and they would want to know what it sounds like, right? So that guy does sound really good. He did have a nice, not a nice, but he did have a first round pop, if you noticed that. The real thing to me would come down between these two. The SilencerCo Omega 9K. Omega 9K, Glock 19, Super Sub, dry. Glock 19, wet. And the CGS Mod9SK. Mod9SK, Beretta, Super Sub, wet. Very, very similar in size. Very similar in size. With the Mod9SK edging out the Omega 9K in size. So here's the thing. How much is this really worth it to you? To boil things down and really get a small can that does a really good job. I think the Mod9SK does a very good job on those 145 grain subs. In general, he just shoots really well. I didn't have any of it out here today, but I've shot it before and on some other videos, but some 124s, 124 grain ammo, it works really well. This guy cycles on most all of my firearms. I think it's just a balance of his weight and what he's actually doing. And the engineering, the designing behind it, it works really well across the board on my pistols, right? So as a pistol specific K-can, I would have to say for me, the Mod9SK does the best. It's not the quietest, but it performs and it cycles the best on the vast majority of my pistol hosts, right? If you're going to put this on a PCC, pistol caliber carbine, like an MP5 or something like that, that's really where you start getting into the the Omega 9K definitely edges out the Mod9SK. Omega 9K wet. Right? Hopefully I'm saying those correctly. The SilencerCo outperforms the CGS can, if we can say that. And then really, if you're going into PCCs, that's really when you want to start stepping into something like the R9, where it is going to outperform the SilencerCo. MP5 R9 wet Super Sub. Right, so that's my little 2 cents. These other two cans surprisingly do well for their size. The Dead Air Odessa-9, it's a very specific kind of a niche can. It did really well. I don't know if you noticed whenever I was shooting up there, or shooting at distance, you know, with 145s, that's what I was shooting up there. It did well. It did really well. He's a longer can, but the benefit of both of these is they are so small, you can use your standard height sights in general. You know, so you got a weird gun. In general, you can use your standard height sights. You don't have to have something special to be able to actually aim your firearm. If you're using a red dot, then generally you can look over, pass through, you know, whatever suppressor you have out there. But in general, you're going to need suppressor height sights on your pistols if you want to utilize them, you know, with a clear, unobstructed view. But these guys, you don't have to do that. I will say, today, everything cycled and everything worked perfectly fine with the JK Armament 105 CCX, this little guy. Everything worked fine today. There have been times, and there are some firearms that this guy does not want to cycle on. I think it's my my Glock 43X. For whatever reason, he doesn't like to cycle on there. I kind of wanted to use this as a carry suppressor. I thought that'd be really cool because I carry comps most of the time. And I mean, if I can have a comp or a suppressor, I'd rather have a suppressor because at least it's doing more. It's kind of compensating, but it's also suppressing the report. So I wanted to do that, but it doesn't work as well as, say, this guy right here, the Odessa-9, as far as cycling, right? Non-obstructing the cycling operations of a pistol. I'm trying to use all the fancy words that I can. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. They all have their own little niche, their own little specific thing that they do well. But for a general purpose, well cycling, reducing the report of the firearm, K-can, 9mm pistol suppressor, for me, the option, and I just reconfirmed it today because I thought this before going into the video, and I just wanted to reconfirm it basically for myself, is the CGS Mod9SK. For this specific niche role, that's where this guy thrives, in my opinion. So I would like to hear back from you guys. I know the audio is not going to be the best because you're listening through audio and onto whatever device you're listening on. And so just based upon what you saw, how you perceived everything, I would love to know which one you guys would pick for the specific role of a 9mm pistol host. It needs to cycle on the gun, it needs to sound decent, sound good, and be a proper, appropriate size for your application. And if I missed something, if I missed a suppressor that you're like, oh, what about XYZ suppressor? Let me know. When you guys let me know about specific cans that you want to see, sometimes we can get those from the manufacturers and review those and then throw those into the works and see, you know, how stuff compares. But it really helps when you guys give some feedback and let me know what cans and what things you guys want to see. Aside from suppressors, if there's anything else you guys want to see, let me know, and hopefully we can work that into a video at a different time. All right, that's it. I appreciate you guys. I just broke my glove. That's fun. It's a little bit cold out here. It's a little crispy. Y'all be good, be safe. I appreciate you guys, and hopefully we'll catch you in the next video. See ya. Omega. Did that on purpose.